Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start a new series on my channel, a 5-part series, I think, where I'm just gonna teach you how to navigate Studio and use it. Um, Now I'm not a very good coder or anything like that. I like to model, but what are you gonna do? So the first thing you're gonna do is after you open up Roblox Studio, of course you have to install it. Out of Roblox, you're gonna sign in, and then you're gonna go to New. You might be tempted to click template or any of these. Never click base plate. Click classic base plate. It makes your life so much easier. This is personal preference, but it's very highly recommended by me. So while it's loading, takes a second. There we go. Hey, it's right click to move around. Right click, just like you were playing Roblox. WASD to move, and it's basically controls like you were flying. Now you're gonna see when you open up a Roblox Studio, you're gonna see this thing called the Toolbox. Close it. We don't need Toolbox right now. Toolbox is like where you can get free models, but we don't want to do that. For one reason, I'll get to probably video 2. I actually might cover it today. You never know. But yeah, so here's our base plate. It's pretty big. So the first thing I'm going to teach you guys is these. You see all these little dots? This is called a stud. Yes, this is very, very beginner. If you want to, you can skip later into the series if you want more advanced stuff. So, also what I just did is, if you want to put something in your game, you're going to click this button right here. It says part. It's going to insert a block, and then here are all of your tools. Also, if you could also insert a block, sphere, wedge, or cylinder. You have select, select a part. You have move, where you can move it on the X, Y, and Z coordinates. And then you have scale, my favorite, where you can slide the size of something. Then the backspace key or delete key should get rid of it. If you go into this model tab up here, you'll find that you can like change this. I have it very low. So let me get that back. So you're gonna want to put this to 45 and 0.5 for beginners. And then you see, so we got this brick right here. So then if we shrink it down, you can see when I scale it, I can see straight through it. Okay, so this is a stud. This is the measurement that Roblox uses. This right here, this little block is 1 stud big. So this is 1 stud out of this base plate. So that's a lot of studs. So you have a lot of working room, and you can move infinitely out. Just don't move up because null zone. I'll get to that later. But yeah. So Roblox lets you scale things like that, and I'm just gonna delete that for now. This first video is going to be about how to navigate Studio. I do not recommend the transform tool. It's just all the tools combined, I believe. Yeah, it is. But it's really confusing to me, so if you want to look at that, you can. I actually am, so if we go to view, click got it on that, we're going to get all of this. I want you guys to open the toolbox for 1 second, and you see this thing, it's by Roblox. Neutral spawn, I want you to click it. Want that. All these parts will like rotate. You can still move the object. But if you want to move it on a very fine axis, then use the actual move tool. So this is where your player is going to spawn. You can actually put this thing inside the ground a little bit for it to work. But here's something, every time you model something, make sure you go into model and make sure this little anchor thing is on, so that it doesn't fall, because if it's not anchored, it's just going to fall over, and unless you want that, it's not going to be fun. You also can group select things like that by clicking and dragging little box. So now, since we have our little spawner inside of the base plate, this is a way to make a clean spawn, but just for now I'm just going to move it up. And if we click play, that little button in the corner right there, it's going to take a minute. and then it's going to load in. Okay, so see, we loaded in on the spawner right here. So this just means that this is the neutral spawn point that everyone's going to spawn on. So if we had, say, 100 people in this game, everyone would spawn right here. But what you can do, if I click stop, that's the stop button up there. You can control C and V it and make multiple so that there's two options. It's RNG which one they spawn on. So it's a random number between these two that they spawn on. But here's something that I wanted to show you guys. So there's a difference between right click and so you can right click things, right? This is a very useful mic. You can cut it, which pretty much is copy and pasting, but you remove it completely and then move it. Paste into where you're gonna paste into things. I'll get into things later. Duplicate, which is my favorite because now there's just two, and if you want to make walls, here let's undo that and then duplicate. If you want to make walls, it's very simple because then you could just go to the scale tool and go like that and then that, and it just makes it so duplicate tool is very useful. But here, let me get another part in here. But now, so we have all this menu like zoom in, group, group, unit, and group. I'll get to today. Probably we'll get to unit and get until later, like 4 or 5. Okay, now the right click menu in here, the bottom half changes. So if you want to make a model for someone else to use, you can do save to Roblox and we'll publish it to Roblox. We'll get to that later. But yeah, so here's something you can do. So if you have two models right here, so say we got like a house here, just pretending. Here, let me actually do that real fast. A wedge here. And then you Control D is duplicate, by the way. Spin. So I got this little house right here, right? And yes, you can group scale it like so, but it's gonna scale as a like a full thing rather than just scaling one part. But say we have our house here. Just move this over here, and I don't want it to I want it to be easier so it doesn't look like part wedge in here. So what I can do is I can drag over it. Then in this model section again, next to the color and material and the anchor, you're gonna click group. So now that says model in my Explorer. Explorer holds everything in your game, including like all the server storage and all that stuff. But now if I look inside, now I have all my parts and wedges in there. Here, let's get to, here, I'm gonna make another part right here. Okay, let's see, we have this wedge, and I don't want it to be this basic gray. So what you can do is click the color in model and go down, click the down button. All these colors to choose from. We're just gonna do purple right now. So now we have a purple one. Let's say this purple just looks too plain for me. I either can change it again to a different purple, or if we go into material, we have all of these, like neon can make it glow, foil puts a weird texture on it. Metal, let's go with the metal texture, so now it looks a lot better. But here's something we're gonna add to it. So if we click on wedge in the Explorer, down here we're gonna find the properties. Now if we scroll through this, so we have reflection. Now if we turn this up, nothing happens. If we turn it down, we can turn up transparency, which makes it so I can see through it. See, now I can see the studs below it. But if I turn that back down, it becomes a, see if I put it to all the way up to 1, you can't see it anymore. If we put it to 0, this is just how it looks. You got positions and stuff. So you also can anchor it from in here. Yeah, Yeah, there's like attributes don't make sense to me, so I'll let you guys figure that out. Oh, forgot to close Toolbox. So now we have our little game. Pretty simple. If you were to want to, you can like view, you can change all of this. I'll get into team create later in the series. It's probably a common question. But okay, yeah, so basically I'm gonna go around the rotate tool. So if we take this, we can rotate it this way, this way, and this way. If you want your turning to be precise, go into the rotate tab and make sure every time you want to change it, start with 90 and divide it by 2 and by 2 and by 2. You can use a calculator if you can't go that small. I can. So half of 45, half of 20, 40 is 20, sorry. Half of 4 is 22.5. I'll probably put a graph up on screen of all the different things you can do with studs as well. You can also change the studs. That's why at the beginning of the video you saw me at 0.125, which makes very accurate measurements. But if we were to put this at like 20, I can rotate this, but it's very weird and wonky. So if I rotate it like that and then put it to like 45, or actually since it's closer to 22.5, it's not going to get to the exact back measurement. So if that happens, you can use your move tool and just move it around, and it will or you just grab it, move it, it will fix it. But then make sure you have a correct measurement. That's a multiple of 90 or 45. Okay, that's a basic walkthrough of all the tools in Studio. You can start like putting pieces together now. And I'll see you guys on the day 2 whenever that comes out of this series. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys again soon. Later.